place stinks of death.
Well, we are in an ancient sewer flooded with rotting corpses.
There's no way to get through here.
very powerful magic. The feeling grows stronger. I believe I recognize the magical signature of an artifact. This is not a creature.
With all these stiffs in the way, we can't go any further for the moment. We need to find the source of all these deaths. It might have something to do with the artifact.
Vulcan, I knew that you would find us.
Did you get separated? Where are the others?
Well, the attack of this concubine took us by surprise. The group was broken up, and unfortunately not everyone managed to escape. We set up camp and did some reconnaissance.
What did you find out?
Not very much for the moment. This area is particularly hostile. There is a powerful, corrupting magic everywhere. It seems to strengthen the undead and weaken us. Nevertheless, Mathras seems to thrive in this strange atmosphere. He has been serving as our scout.
I recognize this corrupting magic. It promotes the creation of new troops for the Deadwalker army.
I can feel it, but it doesn't seem to be everywhere.
Certain zones are probably unaffected. Black Frost uses them to keep his prisoners in good condition while waiting for their conversion.
Charming. He keeps the meat chilled. I'm guessing that's why his soldiers are tougher than the others.
Exactly. And that is exactly why you are going to have to reach the palace without me. I have no intention of ending up like those miserable creatures. You have the energy of the World Heart within you. I doubt whether the magic can have any real effect on you, but it is different for the rest of us. We must try to avoid zones permeated with corruption.
I understand. Let's go and find Mathras. He might have found out something useful.
Hello, Vulcan.
Let's see which... You're still alive? Or undead?
Are you trying to be funny? Of course I am. Though I did nearly have to change bodies. So here we are, a little closer to our goal. Of course, the next thing we must do is to find a way to dispose of Blackfart's wives.
Blackfart's wives?
Are you shocked? Blackfrost's polygamy is probably a reflection of his megalomania, even though it was quite common in the past. The most powerful of them is called the Guardian. She is protecting the palace entry, and I fear she is invulnerable as long as her three sisters live. You must first face the Creator, the Stalker, and then the Watcher, if you are to have any chance of defeating her.
I've already beaten one of them. I can kill the others.
You are more than capable, my dear. There is no doubt about that. But this place is bathed in a kind of corruption that lends strength to these creatures.
Is there a way of getting rid of it?
Probably. There are still a few red scribes around. Stupid though they are, they may have some idea how to proceed. Did you know that before it became Blackfart's Folly, this place was originally a palace built by the elves, devoted entirely to theater and song?
That concubine is keeping a pretty good watch over the way to the palace.
There is no hope of defeating the Guardian while her fellow concubines still live. The slightest wound she receives will instantly be healed.
I'm happy to see that you are still alive. I wish I could say the same for your companions.
Sybil? Branval?
Neither they nor your mercenary comrades show any sign of life, which leads me to think, what horrible carnage.
I'll take a look around the place in case one of them is still alive.
Even if there's only a slim chance, you shouldn't hesitate. Unfortunately, we've got something else on our minds. Mathras doubtless spoke to you about the strange corruption in this place. Corruption that makes the undead much more powerful, sometimes even unbeatable.
Do you know of a way to cut it down or block it?
I believe I have an idea, yes. The corruption does not extend to all places in the same way. Some areas seem to be exempt. And I believe the undead I saw there were less comfortable. These are exactly the same places as where the crystals with magical capabilities can be found. If you can gather some, we will be able to make you a talisman that will let you drive back the corruption around you, and so fight the undead as you usually would.
Will it repulse the Deadwalkers?
I doubt that the lone talisman is powerful enough for that. Added to which, you have to stay completely still. But the idea...
When he looks like that, it means he's trying to think. Funny, isn't it? Here, I'll show you the zones where you can find the crystals on your map.
Excuse me, I was lost in thought. Here, take this to gather the crystals, and bring us back as many as possible. That's a pretty good idea. If we place the crystals around the camp, we should be able to keep the undead away from here. Of course, we'll need more than it takes to make a single talisman.
All right, I'll bring it back for you. I'll be going now.
Greetings, mercenary. What?
Can I have a look at... Edwin, I need to...
What can I do?
Thanks. That makes one. It's true. This thing really does stink. This door is blocked from the other side. This door is blocked from the other side. This door is blocked from the other side. Sybil calling. I have to help her.
Vulcan, you came. Thank you. But I think that... I'm sorry. My time is near.
You're not dying here. Tell me what I can do.
I need medicine. A potion. A bandage. Something. My strength is almost gone. I can't do it myself.
Here, I got what you need. It's gonna help.
I thought I wouldn't make it. Thank you, Vulcan.
Don't mention it. I was just passing by, you know. How the hell did you get yourself into this mess?
After you disappeared, I got separated from the other survivors. 3 other scribes were with me, but we were attacked by one of the concubines. It was the Creator, one of Blackfrost's wives.
And she let you go?
I wish she had. No, the other scribes threw themselves at her so I could escape. They gave their lives to save me. That goddamned piece of filth! I'm gonna make her pay!
I've never seen you angry before, but there are other more urgent things first. We should leave here. We're camped just outside of the sewers. Go and get some rest there.
The knight thanks his friend for coming to his aid. He is surprised to find that he is happy to still be alive.
There's no way I was gonna leave you like that. It would be best if you rested up and got your strength back at the camp. It's just by the sewer outlets. This door is blocked from the other side.
Ah, our favorite traitor. So happy to see you again, Vulcan. You certainly took your time getting here.
Relmar, Prince Arundel. I was sure that the Deadwalkers got you both at Carolbath.
Yes, luckily for us, we weren't depending on you to get us out of there. Unlike all of those elves that you left to die.
I didn't have a choice. I had to get here as fast as possible. I need to get into the World Heart.
You did have a choice, and you chose for the worst. You sacrificed my people and even your own brother mercenaries. How could you have allowed it?
The battle was already lost, and you knew it perfectly well, so spare me your saliva, sire.
You could have been the difference. If only you had wanted to. But look at you. You're no better than Black Frost. You only care about your power. You no doubt would like to take your place among the Ice Lords.
I admit it. I fell under the charms of his concubines.
We can't let you get away with it. For the memory of our brothers, for Vertiel, we must stop you.
You're out of your mind.
Such a waste.
I found your crystals.
Good. Very good. But I'm afraid that it's too late. Look around you. There's only a handful of us left. As soon as Black Frost turns his attention to the camp, we are finished. What's the point of wearing myself out to make this talisman for you? We may as well just surrender. You were able to resist the demon while keeping some of its powers. But we are in a dead end.
Do you think we're done for? All right. Take a seat and wait for them to kill you if that's what you want. It won't be long. I'm gonna keep going, and I don't need you. I'll just find someone else to help me. Mathras, for example. And in the end, I'll take on Black Frost with or without you. Don't count on me to give up. Or wait for death with my thumb up my ass.
We have lost so many of our people. If I do nothing, they will all have died in vain. You're right. I'll make the talisman for you. But you should speak to Mathras. He seems to know things we don't about the creatures blocking the road.
I'll be going. Mathras, got a moment?
My dear, I have all of eternity.
I want to ask you a couple... Did you know that Edwin was really the White Lady the whole time?
Yes, even though I almost didn't recognize her with all that clothing on. You may not believe it, but when she was a young girl amongst the White Lords, she liked to stroll around nearly naked.
How come you never said anything?
Oh, please. It would be a shame to spoil the delightful humor of such a situation.
This Black Frost. Have you ever met him before?
It's entirely possible, but if I did, he didn't go by that name in those days. You see, at that time, I found the company of any and all living creatures quite simply unbearable. But of course, I hadn't yet had the pleasure of meeting you. I had decided to move to an area as far away from anyone else as possible. As the desert climate tends to wear out my bodies faster, I opted to move up to the great frozen north. I lived there peacefully in my modest palace for some years, until one day, a small group of people arrived. There were a dozen apprentice sorcerers who called themselves the White Lords. Believe me, in those days, Lord was about the last thing anyone would think of calling them. On reflection, I should have slain them on the spot for having disturbed my peace and stolen some books from my archives. But I was rather bored, and their thefts intrigued me, and so I followed them. I picked up their trail in a city a few towns along. There were quite a few of them at the time, and the locals seemed to like them well enough.
Are you talking about the Ice Lords?
Yes, of course, and though they weren't calling themselves that. I watched them for a while, but they were so ridiculous that I quickly grew bored of them. Clearly, managing to steal from my library had been the result of the merest stroke of luck.
And Black Frost?
Doubtless he was one of them. A talentless conjurer who imagined himself a great mage without having any of the abilities to go with the title. Of course, with the passing of time and using my research, they finally managed to achieve their goal. If they're still the gang of megalomaniacs that they were, then they are extremely dangerous.
Talk to you later. The news is not great. According to what I've been able to find out with Mathras, the Palace of Black Frost is guarded by another one of his concubines. And it looks like she is too powerful for me to take.
Well, there was never much doubt about that, my sweet, if you'll pardon my honesty. All is not lost, however. As I told you before, if you manage to eliminate the 3 other concubines, the power of the Guardian will be considerably reduced.
While our own power is increased.
That's the plan. If someone wants to come with me, we'll go together and track down these misunderstood love monsters. I'll be counting on the others to guard the camp. It's bound to get pretty hot around here very quickly. Even more so if I mess this up.
I could come with you. I may not be the most powerful being among us, but I do know how to make myself useful. You can trust me to help.
You are more than qualified to help me, Sybil. I have no doubts about that.
I have learned so much with you. It is time to use that knowledge to make a contribution.
The Knight has been waiting for this moment a long time. A fight without hope, where he might claim victory at the risk of his life.
On to the hopeless battle, then. But I wouldn't count on it being the last. We'll have plenty more to live through.
Having some magic to back you up will help against these creatures, and I know their ways all too well.
Okay, then. Since you seem so desperate to come, I'll take you. Your experience will be welcome.
Soon, poor Black Frost is going to have to resort to using his hand at night.
Ooh, still jealous.
Don't be a fool. Let's go.
My goodness, going on a concubine hunt sounds an awful lot of fun. I will assist you by diverting the attention of the one they call the Stalker. I'll arrange it so that she stays on the side of the ancient bridge near the doors to the city. Meanwhile, you can deal with her 2 sisters without fear of interruption. I would, however, advise you not to waste too much time. I'm not convinced my conversation will hold these illiterates' attention indefinitely.
Here, this object should prove useful to you. I don't know whether it will function perfectly, or even less for how long, but I sort of had to improvise.
Well, thanks, I guess. What does it do?
If it works, the same thing as the pillars, except that you can carry this with you. It minimizes the corrupting magic around you. The concubines and the undead that you will meet will find themselves weakened.
Sounds great. Thanks, Liestas. It's time for me to go do it. Good luck to you here.
Good luck to you.
Edwin, I need to speak to you.
What can I do?
Thanks. Have you seen Renko the blacksmith?
He was in the camp just a short time ago. But he was complaining about needing materials, I think. He was talking about going in the sewers to find them. The poor fellow must be dead by now.
Not exactly the smartest decision he ever made, is it? But maybe he just got lost. When I can, I'll go see if I can find him.
What an idiot. I could have stayed up there in peace and quiet, but no, I had to be cocky.
Vulcan! You're alive! You saved my life. Without you, those things would have ripped me to shreds a few yards from the way out.
There's lots of nasty things down in the sewers. We should take you back up. What the hell were you doing in there on your own?
I needed supplies. And did you see the bodies? You just had to bend down to collect iron, leather, and even entire pieces of armor. Everything an honest blacksmith needs to keep a forge worthy of the name going.
Yeah, for the moment, looks like all you've been collecting is shit. You're an idiot. You could have gotten yourself killed. There aren't many of us left. We can't afford to lose anyone else.
Look, I had no choice. I had no more supplies to work with. But with what I picked up, I'll be able to get back to work.
We're going. This place is way too dangerous to stand around chatting.
Without you, I'd be just one more body down there.
Vulcan.
I have the crystals for the...
Thank you. I didn't dare believe. Let's just hope it'll be enough to protect us against the hordes of creatures. I'll set them up.
This door is blocked from the other side.
Finally.
I know. Truth is, I kicked the dead walker's asses weeks ago. But I needed time to work up the guts to let you out, knowing how you'd be bitching at me.
Good to see you, Vulcan. I was up the creek this time.
I didn't want to tarnish the legend. Don't stay here. There's a camp not far away, but you're starving.
I heard voices across the way there. Elves, I think. Also prisoners.
I'll go have a look. Did you see any of our guys around?
Yeah. There's one of those ugly women on 4 legs around. She got several of our guys. I was able to observe her a bit. Looks like she's avoiding those pillars that are around here. That may be something you can use if you feel like fighting her. And knowing you...
A concubine, huh? Yeah. I won't let her get away from me.
Good. More power.
Smoker.
I owe you my life, human. And more, actually.
Don't worry about it. It's been happening to everybody lately. There's a camp a bit further on. You should go there while the coast is clear.
Thank you. But there are still some prisoners over there. I can't just leave and act as if I don't know what's in store for them.
I took care of it. Everybody's free. You'll meet up with them back at the camp.
Fantastic. Thanks again, soldier. Hope to see you at your camp.
Like we needed this. can cross that off the list. That little bitch won't be ruining the sewers with her rotting waste anymore.
We should go back and try and find that source of magic that I sensed before.
Why not? If it's no longer all blocked up with bodies, we should be able to clear a path. That damn stalker nearly caught me off guard.
according to these inscriptions, we need to combine fire and ice in order to free the power of the artifact.
We could combine our forces.
That would seem to be the obvious solution.
Hello!
Let's see.
Greeting.
Can I have a look? That concubine is keeping a pretty good watch over the way to the palace.
The Guardian's too powerful.
She was a tough one. Now I can see what Black Frost saw in her. Spunky. I think we've pretty much taken care of the concubines. That just leaves the Guardian. And the palace.
If you have anything you need to do at the camp, you'd better go do it now. There's no chance that Black Frost is going to just let you turn around and go back once you're in his domain.
Okay, this is the moment where I politely suggest you tuck your tail between all those legs, run away, and let us through without looking back.
And what reason could I possibly have for doing you a favor like that, little being?
Well, to save your ass, pretty much. You must have sensed that your time was near when I dusted your sisters.
They were never my sisters, insolent one, and you have accomplished nothing. My daughters are inferior to me in every way, as are you.
Motherly love. I never got me. Basically, I'm making you this offer out of principle, but I'm really hoping you're gonna make me rip you a third one in battle.
So be it. It will be my pleasure to grant you your last request.
to actually penetrate the realm of Lord Blackfrost. But do not fool yourself. You did not win your passage alone. It was the evil Lord himself who opened the way inside.
He's testing me.
Yes, and it would appear he now knows what to expect. This should be one of the most fascinating confrontations of the last several thousand years. I simply cannot wait to see the outcome.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to get it over with. It's time to take care of Blackfrost.
If you're certain you've taken care of your affairs here, I can see no reason to delay the inevitable any further.
We've waited long enough. All his defenses are down. The concubines are dead. We need to strike now before he has time to react.
So be it. Let's do it.
My new protege. So happy you could make it. You took your time about it, but I can see that you've made some real progress. Yes, you have.
Yeah, well, your concubines won't be progressing anywhere ever. From now on, you're on your own. And there's no escape.
Well, that was never my intention. I am in my realm here. You and your companions are my guests. Oh, it seems that you too have lost some friends along the way. How very sad. More than most, I know how fragile a friendly alliance can be. Isn't that so, White Lady? Yet it seems destiny has reunited us once again. Oh, what a delicious irony.
I'll be savoring the delicious irony of your protege humiliating and destroying you right before my eyes. Now you know why I'm here.
My dear lady, it is useless to lie to me, and you know it. You are here because you want the same thing I do. For the moment, you do not have the power, but I know that you will leap for it at the slightest opportunity. I have missed you, you know. Once I have extracted what interests me from the corpse of your friend, I will make you my new #1 concubine. But don't you worry. Crystal and the Ice Duchess will be joining you very soon. Not even Black Storm will dare to oppose me now.
Look, I've about had it with both of you monsters. Blackfrost, sorry, but the time has come for me to shut you up for good. Let's see how well you do without all of your slaves.
Very well. In 6,000 years of existence, I don't think I've ever had a day quite as interesting as this one. Vulcan, my dear, this was a fight that deserves to be included in the history books, and I will make certain that it is. You may count on me to tell future generations about your exploits, if there is a future, that is. But that, of course, will depend on you.
I guess that's what we're all fighting for. But I'm not finished yet.
Clearly. And that is precisely why we are here. Each Ice Lord possesses the means to gain access to the World Heart from his or her own palace. It would doubtless be prudent to borrow this one before the other Ice Lords have time to react. I would have loved to accompany you, but I fear your destiny is to continue alone. The World Heart obeys neither the same rules nor the same magic as does the rest of Vertiel. What you find there will be exactly what you bring.
You mean I'm going to end up confronted by myself?
I hope for your sake it does not turn out to be a confrontation, but it is highly probable that what you find there will be familiar to you.
We'll see.
You are come.
I said I would come.
But thou hast taken my time. When thou didst flee, leaving me here at the mercy of these sorcerers, what did thou think would become of me? Didst thou even take time to think?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She speaketh to me.
What? Since when did you...
I did not lie to thee. I had no choice. I had to seize this chance to escape and find a way to fight back, lest we be enslaved here for all eternity. Eternity? Dost thou know how slow the hours pass when thou art the prey of 6 humans, consumed by their lust for power and vengeance? I know this as well as thee. Thou dost not. Thou knowest nothing. I too made use of the confusion. I riposted. I struck back at them, weakened them, but thou hast abandoned me to them. But now I am returned, and together we will crush them. Is it true? Thou art returned.
What it takes to save all of Vertiel from the Ice Lords.
You should have saved the Red Scribe. Your contract!
The company could have been yours, but you preferred to take it by force and condemn the freeborn blades through your pride and incompetence.
Captain?
You weren't capable of covering for your own brothers in arms. And you think you could save Vertiel? You want to be the captain? You didn't even have the brains to make good decisions. You alone, Vulcan son.
You'll never think of any but yourself.
I thank you, monster. Without you, I would never have been able to kill this whore of a traitor.
At the cost of mine? Do not think it. Vertiel needs the world heart. Thou canst not sacrifice it thus. The flame will burn bright anew, and the necromancers will be the first into the fire.
If I remove these spears, the Ice Lords will lose their power. But what will happen to Vertiel?
Thy world is weary, all but extinguished. Nothing remains to be saved. It must be cleansed.
But inside me is all the power necessary to regenerate my world.
At the cost of mine? Do not think it. Vertiel needs the world heart. Thou canst not sacrifice it thus.
There are still dragons, and the necromancers will be destroyed. The fire of the world heart is not completely out. It will burn bright again, in time.
But without us, I forbid thee to do this. I will not die for thee.
And so ends the tragic, though nonetheless heroic tale of Vulcan Half-Demon. I confess I may have romanticized some aspects of the story, though in my defense, I shall always have something of a soft spot for our dear Vulcan. By releasing the World Heart's energy to the surface, she sacrificed herself in order to heal Vertiel and bring an end to the long winter. Ill-prepared for such a powerful energy surge, the Ice Lords were instantly reduced to cinders. I can tell you, no tears were shed at that funeral. Of course, it was only a few centuries before other would-be mages attempted to follow in their footsteps, though what wonderful centuries they were. With Captain Buffalo leading them, the Freeborn Blades legend grew, and they flourished for a time. Sadly, the legend of Buffalo's immortality proved less than accurate, and after 27 battle wounds and another 40 or so years, he eventually died in his bed, to the great sadness of the 3 charming young women who were sharing it with him at the time. Edwin's corpse was mutilated and burned by the command of King Relmar. Such a waste. I remember being quite disappointed at his decision, as I had hoped I might be able to inhabit her body. It had been an absolute age since I was last inside a woman. To no one's great surprise, Relmar proved to be a formidable monarch. Strong, just, and loved by all. He returned a sense of pride to the elves that the war had stolen from them. He often spoke of how much he missed his outlaw years while being forced to sit through long meetings and dealing with political wranglings. But he was greatly helped by the knowledge and wisdom he gleaned from Arundil's Soul Stone, and he went on to found his own dynasty. The Red Scribes... Oh, really? Don't get me started on those imbeciles. Nonetheless, it would be uncouth of me not to mention how heartbroken young Sybil was by Vulcan's death. Proud to have fought alongside such a courageous companion, the beautiful young scribe lifted her head high and transformed her grief into purpose. She quickly gained the respect of her peers and was elected chief scribe shortly afterwards, when Liestas died quite suddenly. Apparently, the fool succumbed after having imbibed a large quantity of a somewhat questionable nectar that he and his doctor had invented. And as for myself, well, my goodness. I fear that is an extremely long story, and you would quite literally die of boredom before I finished the telling of it. But you see, that's what I like so much about mortals. Their stories last just about the right amount of time, give or take a few decades, and then they're done. And then they come around again. One thing is certain, I have all the time in the world, so who knows? I may get to tell you other tales, if you live long enough. Toodle-pip.